Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I'm just going to double check to make sure that everything is working with the live over on Facebook because you never know. Let's see here. Welcome. Yep, and we have sound even, so that's really awesome. If you are here with me on Zoom, I am super stoked that you're here. Thank you. And if you're catching the replay or you're watching over on Facebook Live, thanks also for carving out time and space to learn with me. It's been a while. My goodness. I feel like the first couple weeks of 2020 were a trial run and the new year has officially started. So maybe I'm alone in that, but life's been a little chaotic the last couple of weeks, and it feels good to be back in the flow. And I'm super stoked to bring this coaching program to you and to talk to you about Candida because it's really important, especially this time of year. A lot of us think about, getting healthy and what our goals are for the new year and different ways that we can up level. If wellness in general and kind of shifting into that is on your goals list for 2020, this is an important conversation that I want to have with you. So I just really want to honor the fact that you're here, whether you're live or you're catching the replay, because it already shows that you've taken the first step in identifying that there's something that's maybe going on with you or that you want to shift. And this is a really good place to start. So let's talk about Candida. We're going to get candid about Candida. If you have never even heard the word Candida before, don't worry. I'm going to share all the information that you're going to need to know today. And then I'll also give you some information about our coaching program that kicks off on Monday, February 3rd, if that is of interest to you. All right, let's dive right in. So in case you're new here, my name is Kelly. I am the creator behind the Wholesome Nomad brand and also one of the founders at Team It's Essential. I partner with doTERRA essential oils and also do private and group health coaching. And I just kind of have like some basic tenets that I've written out for you that I like to share with people. So I believe that we all have a right to experience health in the fullest sense. And that's going to look different for everybody, right? Every body is different. But I do believe that that is within our rights as human beings walking this beautiful, amazing planet. And I also believe that there is a way for you to experience that. I know that our bodies intuitively know what they need to be well, which is why a lot of times aligning with more natural solutions can be so effective because we are working with our body's innate sense of just knowing what we need in order to function and to truly thrive. I also believe that we have to change the way our healthcare system works for us. And that change truly, honestly begins in our home. This is not a political statement at all. It's just truly being aware of the fact that healthcare globally is not exactly where it needs to be, right? And so we can make small changes starting in our home, starting with our daily habits to really impact the global community and the collective sense of how we take care of ourselves. So that's kind of what to expect from me here in case you're new and you don't know anything about me yet. All right, so let's talk about what the heck Candida even is and why it's something you need to be caring about. So Candida is yeast. So if the word Candida freaks you out, replace it with the word yeast pretty much every time that I mention it. Now, of course, there are like good yeasts and not so good yeasts. Candida itself exists normally in our GI tract. So we're always going to have some sort of yeast hanging out in our body. It can also live in your mouth, in the vagina, in the rectum, different places, different pink parts in our body. But the problem lies when there is an overgrowth of this yeast, of the Candida. So, there is a normal level, but for most people, and actually it's quite a large amount of people who have a Candida overgrowth, the sense of like overgrowing Candida, having too much of it can really lead to a lot of other issues within our body that you might not even have related to a Candida overgrowth. Leads to lots of different things, and we'll talk about what that is. It's interesting because 70% of our immune system is actually housed in our gut. So if you feel like you're sick a lot, or you know someone who's sick a lot, and you're not quite sure why, you can't really put your finger on it, chances are it's because you have a compromised immune system or one that needs to be strengthened. And a lot of that happens in the gut, in the GI tract itself. So this is another reason why, doing juice cleanses and intermittent fasting and things like this is so popular, because it helps to cleanse the gut, and in doing so helps to strengthen the immune system. Also, 90% of your serotonin is produced in your GI tract. Serotonin is the chemical that makes you feel happy. So if that's another issue for you or something you've been wanting to work on in 2020 is your mood and overall emotional health, maybe looking at your gut health could unlock this door to wellness that you have yet to really step into because you've got some candida overgrowth happening or leaky gut or something like that going on. 80% of autoimmune issues are actually related to poor gut health and a gut health imbalance, which is really interesting to me. Autoimmune issues have been on the rise steadily the last 10 years, and you can do a quick Google search to kind of figure out more about what that is, or maybe you have an autoimmune issue and that's why you're here. So a lot of times when we can work on healing the gut, we work on healing the body from the inside out, we can start to see so many beautiful, amazing changes and results, especially those who are dealing with autoimmune concerns. So the whole reason why you need to even care about this, one is because a lot of things happen in our gut that we know nothing about. And two, because when we become aware of what's called our microbiome, that's what's going on inside your body, it really kind of helps us to understand our bodies almost as a separate entity. So it might sound a little wacky to you, but I have like myself, and then I consider my body like its own separate thing. And we have conversations together all the time where I'm like, hey girl, what's going on with you? How can I help you? What sort of support do you need? Because oftentimes we go through our life and we're very in our head, right? We kind of live in this space where we're in our conscious mind all the time. You know, we're running around, we're working, we're running errands, we're driving, blah, blah, blah. But so much happens subconsciously and then in our microbiome, in our body that we know nothing about, we have no control over. And it's really important for us to tap into that from time to time. So maybe you want to take this moment to pause and just stop me and ask yourself, okay, check in. Hey body, what's going on? Where are you feeling tense? Where are we feeling like maybe there's some pain or some discomfort? Where are we feeling like we're carrying around something extra? Maybe that's bloat or weight or a heavy emotional burden, right? Because your microbiome is actually like a unique fingerprint. It is different for you than it is for me, than it is for Sally down the street, right? And so when we can become aware of what makes our microbiome really flourish and thrive, we can truly step into this whole new space of wellness, which is really, really exciting. And I want to show you the ways. It's amazing once you get there. So what are some symptoms of Candida overgrowth? I know I mentioned briefly that there's like a whole laundry list of things that can be associated with Candida overgrowth. And it's kind of funky because you could also rationalize a lot of these other symptoms associated to other things, right? But if you read this list and listen to me talk and you're thinking to yourself, I have like between, 3 to plus of these, a Candida overgrowth situation might be happening for you, especially if you eat what I refer to as like a traditional American diet, right? So if you eat kind of a mixture of things, you're omnivorous, you occasionally drink alcohol, right? You eat sugar from time to time and dairy and gluten, just a traditional American diet, which I would argue most of us probably eat, myself included. There's probably a very good chance that you have Candida overgrowth if you have a few of these different symptoms. So things like chronic fatigue and low energy, irregular, uncomfortable bowel movements. If you're not going to the bathroom every single day, or you're having to strain, or it's happening too quickly, we need to talk. If you don't have someone in your life who cares about your poop, I will be your girl. I talk about it all day long, and I'm happy to welcome you into the fold. So let's talk about that. Let's have that conversation. Skin issues, so acne, rashes, spots. If you have different kinds of things going on with your skin that you really can't identify, it could be related to a Candida concern. Sinus pressure, interestingly enough. So a lot of times I'll have people who come to me and they're concerned because they're not sick necessarily, and they can't really put their finger on why they have this congestion and like a buildup of stuff going on. Oftentimes that can actually be related to a Candida overgrowth. If you feel like you're clearing your throat a lot, or there's just a lot of like mucousy things happening, sometimes that can be related to this. Joint pain, interestingly enough. So like right now it's a little cloudy, and I woke up this morning with a little bit of like a stiff neck, so to speak. And I think that's due to the pressure. But if you have sort of like a joint pain or discomfort that's sort of chronic, that's happening a lot, and you feel like you need to maybe take something to alleviate the inflammation, maybe take a peek at this. Bloat, water retention, and gas issues. Low libido, interestingly enough, can also be related to Candida overgrowth. Again, if you don't have someone in your life who cares about your libido and your poop, I will be your girl. I promise. I want to care about these things for you. Mood swings, especially again, if you can't relate this directly to something else. Skin and nail issues, recurring urinary issues, or yeast infections is a common thing when we talk about Candida. Normally when people come to me asking about Candida, it's because they've got some sort of yeast problem happening. And I used to be that person who had a yeast issue like every 4 to 6 months. So I feel you if that's something you're struggling with. And also issues with the gut health in general, especially leaky gut. So like I said, laundry list of things, but this might help to lead you down the path of maybe identifying if this is something that is going on with you. So how in the world do you know if a Candida cleanse is right for you? Because I do believe that Candida cleanses can be great for everybody, but it's not necessarily designed for you specifically if you don't have any of those symptoms, or if some other different things might be happening with your body. So if you identify with 2 or more of these symptoms that we talked about here, a Candida cleanse probably might be a good idea for you. If you've had changes in your diet, so if you have either gone from being really, really plant-based or eating a lot of whole foods to like October 31st happens and there's all this sugar happening, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then now it's New Year's, and now you're in this like weird vortex that I'm still kind of into, that might be a good indication that you need kind of a reset. If you consume refined sugar on a semi-consistent basis, and refined sugar includes alcohol. So by that, I don't just mean like a tablespoon of sugar in your coffee or whatever, but if you're eating processed foods that have sugar in them, really anything that's not like a plant-based sweetener, if you're eating that on a semi-consistent basis, and I'm talking like 3 to more times a week, Candida cleanse might be something that you want to take a look at. If you've been on antibiotics at all in the last year, it takes typically a full 12 to 18 month cycle for antibiotics to completely leave our system. Let that sink in. When I was a teacher, I used to be on antibiotics like once a quarter, basically. And that will completely wreck your gut health. So if you're like me, or you've been, it's been a rough year for you, 2019 was a year of like a lot of ups and downs for your health, and this has been something that's going on. Let's kind of reset your gut, because there's probably some issues happening there. If you are pregnant or nursing, I love you, but you can't do this with me. You could do your own version of a Candida cleanse, and I'd be happy to support you and give you tips on that. But a full-blown Candida cleanse is really not a great idea if you're currently pregnant or nursing. Also, if you're diabetic, especially if you are type 1 or type 2, well, those are the types, right? But basically, if you're taking insulin, or if you have to watch your sugars really closely, a Candida cleanse is probably not a good idea for you. However, you can still do some dietary shifts to help eliminate some of the Candida. And again, just reach out. I'd be more than happy to give you some tips on that if you are diabetic. You also know that a cleanse is right for you if you're willing to fully commit to sticking with a nutrition plan for 2 weeks. That's all that it is. It's really, really not a whole lot of time, but you have to be fully willing to commit. There's been a lot of times when I've done this with people, and I've even had like an accountability partner just with myself before leading group coaching programs, where people wouldn't necessarily stick with it the whole time. And then you kind of go through this experience where you feel like it didn't work, and then you don't get the results that you wanted, and it's not the best outcome for you. So if this list speaks to you and resonates, let's continue chatting, because I want to talk to you about what a Candida cleanse involves and how to go about doing it. Okay, so what does a Candida cleanse even entail? It's mostly diet change. So a lot of times when we hear the word cleanse, it freaks us out. We think we're going to be like running to the bathroom every 5 minutes, or we're going to have to like drink some sort of weird concoction with cayenne pepper, or we're going to have to like just eat apples for 11 days or something crazy. This is super simple. Okay. It's very, very basic. And we actually just kind of shift our diet back to like what we used to eat when we were hunters and gatherers. Well, pretty much just gatherers. So it's mostly a diet change. What we're going to do is remove all sources of sugar, gluten, starch, and yeast, and very, very few carbohydrates from our diet. So you might be looking at that list going, oh, well, that seems pretty simple. And it is simple, not easy, but it is simple, and it's very, very doable. And then what we're going to do is add the good bacteria back into our gut. And we do that by eating fermented foods, probiotics. We're going to talk about digestive enzymes. Those are really important too. I want you to know, though, that there is a die-off period when you do a Candida cleanse. And you might have heard of this, like, oh, I've been going through die-off, especially if you're in the health and wellness space, and maybe not really understood what that means. So die-off is when the little Candida bugs, I kind of envision them as like these little aliens that live inside your gut. When these little Candida bugs literally start to die, they emit gases. And that die-off, when they start to emit those gases, it really sucks. It's not fun. So I'm here to tell you there's about a 3 to 7 day window when you do a Candida cleanse where life is not the best, but it's so much better when you get to the other side. And it's kind of one of those things, like I talk to a lot of my coaching clients about when we're unpacking things, it's almost like cleaning out the pantry. You cannot clean out the pantry without taking everything out, making a gigantor mess, cleaning everything, and then putting it all back in nice little rows and organized boxes and bins, right? Same sort of thing. So we're going to clean out the pantry of your gut. And in order to do that, it's got to get a little funky and messy before it gets better. So some of these symptoms of die-off can include things like head tension, brain fog, mood swings, skin breakouts. That's where it really shows up for me. Some minimal digestive or GI discomfort usually doesn't last for more than 1 to 2 days. But yeah, so that's kind of what to expect during the die-off period. Once die-off ends, however, you can actually get to check in with your body, and then you can begin to reintroduce some foods. And what you'll notice when you do this Candida cleanse fully and correctly, as you start to reintroduce some foods, you'll notice your body naturally resists things with a lot of sugar, gluten, starch and yeast, and carbohydrates. So if you are listening to this because maybe weight release was on your goals list for 2020 or just gut health in general and you wanted to clean up your diet, I'm going to be honest with you, this is the best way to go about it because it's like a full-blown reset and you can literally shift the different types of foods that your body craves and wants you to consume. I did a Candida cleanse this last summer. I did it with, and I'll do it with you, of course, too. This go round, I did it with a group of women and it was amazing. We had such great results and I have still continued a lot of those same practices from then. So I do find myself gravitating back to sugar a little bit more these last couple months just because holidays and like life, right? But definitely not as much as I had before, which is really interesting. So when we do this multiple times, you'll literally start to shift and change your taste buds, what your body craves, and really start to heighten that awareness of tapping into what your body is asking of you, which is really cool. Okay, so if you are here because you have essential oils in your life and you enjoy the education, I want to chat with you about essential oils that can support you during a Candida cleanse. But please know that if you do not have essential oils, you can still totally do a Candida cleanse. It's just diet. Essential oils will help, however, tenfold because they're going to help support our body's natural processes and can actually help to speed up this die-off period and help to really amplify some of the really great results that you're going to get. So one oil I love to use during a Candida cleanse is Slim and Sassy. That's our metabolic blend. It's really great for sugar cravings. That die-off period can really heighten those intense sugar cravings. So I like to just add a drop of this to my water during die-off. You could even just put a drop on the back of your hand and lick it. You can take it internally in a veggie capsule. What's also awesome is when you use doTERRA essential oils, there's nothing added in there or, sugars or starches or any of that nonsense. So you can totally take them with your Candida cleanse and it's only going to help you rather than hinder your progress, which is great. Lemon is another awesome essential oil to have when you're doing this, any kind of cleanse, really. It's very detoxifying to the system. So I like to integrate that as a daily habit where I'm just putting a drop of lemon into a hot mug of water first thing in the morning to kind of jumpstart the gut. That's a good practice to do always, to be honest with you, not just during a Candida cleanse, but can be really helpful during this time as well. Peppermint, especially if you have any kind of like GI issues during Candida die-off or head tension as you're going through maybe a little bit of caffeine or sugar withdrawal. There's a lot of uses for peppermint and those are some of my favorites. So stomach issues, head tension, you have any kind of like joint pain as the inflammation starts to come out in our body, that can be really helpful too. Also, Zendocrine is our proprietary detoxification blend. So again, just like we talked about with lemon, we want to gently detoxify our organs and our systems. You could do this by applying Zendocrine over the kidneys, on the soles of the feet. My favorite way to use Zendocrine is actually to put a couple drops in some Epsom salts and just soak in a tub. It's kind of like a novelty for me being a full-time RVer. So now that I'm here, I'm staying at my grandmother's home right now in Reno while my hubby wanders around the Florida wilderness. And she has this amazing tub. And I think I've been in that thing like 4 to 5 days a week. It's incredible. So using Zendocrine can really, really help to kind of draw those toxins out of the body. And you can also take it internally as well, which is really cool. So if you are brand new to doTERRA and you've never experienced a doTERRA essential oil, I want to just give you very, very briefly a little bit of a rundown on the doTERRA difference. So essential oils are kind of everywhere nowadays. I saw some at Best Buy. You can see them at like Home Goods and the grocery store now, and they are not all created equal. And I hope that if you've been watching the education here for a little while, you understand that. So they are completely natural. So what we're going to do is use these essential oils to work on your body's root causes and support overall wellness and to really help your body to bring itself back into homeostasis, all of your body's systems. Also helps with your physical and emotional well-being. So it's incredible to use a high quality product that is derived from plants. You know it's completely natural, won't have any interaction with your medications or anything like that, to gently support your body. They're super effective. They're aromatic compounds distilled from plants for their health benefits, and that is it. So there's no additives, no synthetics, and they're really, really awesomely effective, not just for aromatherapy, but also for working internally and physically on our body. And they are also completely safe. So doTERRA oils are certified pure therapeutic grade. They actually have an industry standard that they've set because the essential oil market has really just expanded in the past 20 years. And so doTERRA realized that they needed to set their own certification grade because these are just truly the highest quality that you can find in the world. We source our essential oils from where the plants grow naturally and indigenously, which means you're going to get the highest quality yield of plant compounds. We also have a beautiful co-impact sourcing model, which just means that doTERRA doesn't own any of their own farms. So instead, they work directly with local farmers and growers all over the world. I could talk ad nauseum about this because it's like one of my favorite things about this company. But basically, all that means for you is that you're getting the highest quality essential oil possible, and there's no middleman, so you don't have to worry about any unethical business practices. There's also a lot of rigorous testing and science that goes into our essential oils before they are delivered to the public and arrive in your purple box at home. So lots to go on with doTERRA. If you're brand new and now feels like the right time for you to get started and you want to do this Candida cleanse and have some things to support you, let me know. You actually have a couple days to snag 100 free points if you get going by the end of January. So I'd be happy to facilitate that for you. Okay, so I also want to chat with you about some supplements that you're going to want to consider having during a Candida cleanse. Again, you can do this without anything else. You can do just diet changes, but having these will help you. Probiotics for sure. So I love the probiotic from doTERRA because it's got a prebiotic and a probiotic in it. So we're going to basically be able to get into the small intestine and kind of like the guts of your guts, right? A lot of times when we take a regular probiotic, a lot of that dissipates in our hydrochloric acid in our stomach. So we really need something that's double encapsulated to get all the way down into our guts. It helps to increase food absorption. So if you are here because you're one of my fellow gastroparesis warriors, this is a concern that we all have. So you need to be on a high quality probiotic for that. Also helps with regularity. Again, I'm the girl who's going to care about your poop. So let's talk about it. If you're not going consistently and it's not comfortable for you and it's not happening every single day, we got to get you on a probiotic. If you take it at night, you actually have a better chance of it working more effectively. So if you are on a probiotic, whether it's doTERRA's or another brand, consider doing that. And the reason for that is we have a higher acidity in our stomach in the morning. So if you take it at night and you're not going to be eating overnight, obviously you're sleeping, you have a higher chance of it being able to get to work faster and more effectively in your system. It just basically helps to restore overall gut balance. So get yourself a probiotic. That's it. I'm off my soapbox for now. Digestive enzymes are also super important. We do get some from food, although arguably not as many today as we used to because the soil has just been depleted over centuries of farming and agriculture practices. So unless you are eating a 100% raw vegan diet, you're probably not getting enough digestive enzymes. So we need to be supplementing with that. I do love the Terrazyme from doTERRA. There are other companies and brands out there, but I love this one because it's a blend of several different important enzymes that we really need, and it takes the guesswork out of having to piecemeal it all together. So really what a digestive enzyme does is enhances your nutrition. So if you are, again, a gastroparesis warrior, or you feel like you're not as, what am I trying to say? Your body's not absorbing as many of the goods that you would like it to, get yourself a digestive enzyme and see what happens. Also helps with breaking down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. So if you're seeing like anything whole in your stool, like if you're seeing any kind of whole bits of food, that's not good. We want to make sure you're adding enzymes into there to help your body really break down what you're eating so that you can actually get the benefit from all of the hard work you're doing with meal planning and trying to eat right. Ideally, you're going to take this 5 to 10 minutes before you eat, but if you can't remember, honestly, just take it with your meal or right after. That would be totally fine too. So we're going to definitely utilize those when we do our Candida cleanse and just in general. Okay, so here's what's going down. This is our Kick the Candida 21-day cleanse and group coaching program. This is round 2. I launched the pilot program back this summer and it was awesome. I also learned a ton, so it has been changed and shifted from then. If you were one of the original, the OG Kick the Candida members, please know that you are grandfathered into this program forever. So if you would like to participate with us again and do it one more time, we'd be happy to have you. But if this was something that you were kind of tossing around back this summer, but it wasn't the right time, or maybe you're new here and this is the first time you're hearing about it, let's chat. This is a really awesome program. It's kind of my baby. I'm very, very proud of it. And I have updated everything for the last like 3 weeks from what I learned and all the feedback I received from my incredible group of people this summer. So here's how it works. It's 3 weeks long. The first week is all prep. So some of you might be freaking out because I told you it's starting February 3rd, which is Monday. Don't freak, because you still have the entire week to prepare. We're not actually going to start doing anything. You don't have to make any changes until the following week. The second and the third weeks are when we're going to do the cleanse itself. So that's when we're going to be making all those major changes. So you have some time. It comes with an ebook. And in the ebook that I wrote, it's a complete how-to guide. I've got meal plans in there, a grocery list, recipes, essential oil suggestions, and lots of healthy mindset tips. Because honestly, that's a big part of getting through this, is making sure that your headspace is right, and that you're in a good mindset frame of mind. You're also going to receive 3 virtual group coaching sessions. So I'll do one for you every week in our private Facebook group. And there's also that group for accountability and support. If you're not on Facebook, you can still totally take advantage of these group coaching sessions. I have a way to stream them on my website, and so you'll be able to catch them there. You also have open access to me via Voxer for the duration of our program. So if you are not familiar with Voxer yet, it's a walkie-talkie app. So you have basically full and free access to me and to our group for 3 full weeks so that we can be there to support and guide you through this process. Okay, so if you're ready to join, it's $67, which is awesome. So it works out to be like less than $25 a week to really totally reset your gut and set yourself up for an awesome 2020, especially if you're like me and the new year just began for you a couple of days ago. You get full program content and access to Voxer, plus you're grandfathered in when we do this in the future. So my goal now is to probably lead this twice a year. It might increase based on numbers, because I don't want this to get too big. One of the things I loved about our program when we did it this summer is it was such a small, intimate group of women that we were all really able to support each other. And I'd like to cultivate that same sort of sense of community. So I will be capping this program at no more than 25 people, just so you know. So if this is something that is resonating with you, you might want to jump on the registration. You have until February 3rd to register. So I'm going to pop the link underneath this video as soon as we finish so that you can do that. I'll also be posting it in all the places and on my email list for you, so you can register that way. And you'll just be able to register through the Eventbrite link, and you'll have access to all of the things. You'll get it all from me in an email. If you have questions about this, or you want to hop on like a quick 10-minute discovery call to learn more about the program and what's involved, please let me know. I'd be happy to do that for you. It's something that I offer to everyone at all times. So just open up to me, and we'll get that set up for you. Okay, if we're not already connected, which so many of you are watching in social media, so if we're not already connected, here we are. Instagram is back. We have returned, the great revival of the Wholesome Nomads. You can find me there, also on Facebook and YouTube, and my email is there at the bottom, just kelly@thewholesomenomad.com. All right, thank you so much for joining me. This is a fun conversation. I hope you learned a little bit, and I hope your interest has been piqued into at least just tapping in and being a little bit more aware of what might be going on in your body that you're not even aware of, even if you're in the health and wellness space already. So if this is something that you want to do, I can't wait to lead you through this group coaching program. It's sure to be another amazing round with some really great results. And I'm really, really excited to be able to show up and guide you, and also to do it with you, because Lord knows I could use a Candida cleanse too right about now. So it's perfect timing, I think, for all involved, and it should be a lot of fun. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll check in very soon.